I would like for you to take one guess, just one, as to what really bothered me about those games last night. What do you think really bothered me so much to the point I came into this video grimacing? I'll wait a few seconds because I actually want you to think, what really bothered me about that slate last night? Now, my guess is, your guess is, oh, you're probably pissed off about the Flyers and they scored that goal and it was disallowed and then they pulled their goalie even though they were already mathematically. No, that didn't bother me. In fact, as far as that Capital situation goes, there is one reason I'm happy they're in the playoffs. And that's because now the Islanders aren't the only scam team in there. Like, the Islanders are a scam team with a minus goal differential, but the Washington Capitals, it's so bad that Twitter, you know how Twitter makes their own like headlines off to the right? It's not even a tweet. Like, Twitter tries to present this news. They're like, this awful goal differential made the playoffs for the first time since 1992. So at least now attention's off the Islanders. Now us Islander fans and Capitals fans are like, you ever see that meme with the soldiers behind a wall and there's that one clown? There's now two clowns, us and the Capitals, but it has nothing to do with that. I was livid because if you watched my follow-up video, if you're subscribed to my YouTube channel, I mean, I've told you a million times, what I try to do every once in a while, if I come across some information during the day, I'm trying to be a nice guy and upload some sort of update so that there's a chance that you guys could see it and then maybe adjust your bets or remove something. So during the day, I did a YouTube short and put it out there about how I was kind of off Vegas going off because they announced that they were yanking a couple players out of the lineup, probably precautionary reasons, but there was going to be no Chandler Stevenson, and we gave out some Chandler Stevenson bets, and there was going to be no Anthony Mantha, and that could result in differing lines, and the practice reports showed that Nick Waugh was sent down to the fourth line. Now, that's a huge difference. Third line gets regular minutes. Fourth line does not. And the point prop price on him didn't change. It was the same third line price that we were getting, not top power play. I don't even think he was on power play too. So I urged people to take it. I took it. 10 minutes of ice time, 10 to 12 minutes of total ice time. It was a dream scenario. And we got undone by the unnecessary empty net goal. That cuts like a knife. Cuts like a knife! That hurts when you make a good sniff under and it gets undone by an empty net, because think of the situations an empty net. You have to be up by 1 or 2 and the fourth line center has to be on the ice. That's a bad beat. That one was tough to take. And the night as a whole was more bad than good. I am proud of the Dorofeev call. That one was nice. But other than that, the interesting thing about the Washington, I've never seen a team who can keep winning and we're somehow hitting the under on their team total. We hit the plus money under 2.5 team total on a team that won the game. So I guess that was good with Washington. And what was also great about that is, it's a lesson along with seeing the Boston Bruins lose the division at home to the Ottawa Senators, why you don't take those front page bets. And lastly, all of you people who just are convinced it's rigged. This is I lost because of the rigged bet. Connor Garland got ejected because I had his 2 points, and it's rigged. It's rigged. The rigged crowd who thinks that the Chiefs win because Taylor Swift brings in extra money. Well, the Islanders and Capitals, the most unwatchable, boring teams who will garner the worst ratings for the league, both made the playoffs over the Penguins, who are way more exciting, the Crosby story, and Detroit, who everyone wanted to get in with the way they play. No, instead we get the rusty Islanders and the even rustier Washington Capitals. I even gave you the conspiracy theory angle yesterday. I said, if it's over tonight, then there's nothing to watch tomorrow. Well, it's not rigged and there's nothing to watch tonight. That's what we got, a bunch of unwatchable games with minimal things on the line. Dallas has to win in order to wrap up the 1 seed in the West. Dallas, technically, they at least need a point, I believe, or they need to win, because if Vancouver catches them with points, they get the tiebreaker. But other than that, so little on the line tonight. Pittsburgh no longer has anything to play for. Islanders are going to be resting everybody. So many players are going to be rested on all these teams. So I guess what we're going to do is chase a couple milestones. I do see some of those. We got Tampa and Toronto. I don't know exactly who's resting. We'll find out during the day, but we saw Connor McDavid get those 100 assists the other night. I'm expecting the same thing for Nikita Kucherov. I know Vasilevsky, there was a quote about it. He said he wants to see it. So Kucherov, over 1.5 points is at plus money, but I think he's straight up chasing assists in this game. Like, if there is an empty net, I think he's dishing it to somebody else. I think he's getting as many assists as he can. McDavid has 100 assists. My guess is that Kucherov will go for 101. So I do like the over 1.5 points for Kucherov, but also give me the 2 assists for Kucherov. And then you have Austin Matthews chasing 70 goals. Assuming he plays, I don't mind the over 1.5 points because that's a better price. That his goal is minus 150. So I'd rather take the over 1.5 points for him, or maybe the 2 goals at plus money if you want to go that route. You guys know I'm always hesitant about taking goal scores. I guess there should be an asterisk for Austin Matthews, who's going for 7. That's when you actually deserve an asterisk. If you're scoring 70, there is almost as much of a chance that he'll score a goal as there is him just getting a point. But I'll take the over 1.5 points for both of those guys. Then why don't we go to Arizona? We can have a good time in Scottsdale. We can just go there for the weekend. You know you're having plenty of good times to be had in Scottsdale, and maybe just one last good time for these Arizona Coyotes. $2,000 to get in the building. Last game in Arizona against Edmonton, who has nothing to play for. We don't even know their lineup, but we do know that we're getting the Arizona Coyotes at plus 180 in their last home game, where they have everything to play for. Edmonton has nothing to play for and won't want to be injured going into the playoffs. You got to think this is this is better than a good spot. You guys like betting underdogs, you like betting money lines, you like taking front page bets. Here it is. The Arizona Coyotes, big plus money against the Edmonton Oilers, who will probably be resting several key players in this game. So give me the Coyotes at home. You can take the classic player props, but since we're getting such a good price on the Coyotes, I think that's a good one for that game. Now, the Islanders, they'll definitely be resting a bunch of players. They clinched in their second to last game. I think all their key players are resting ahead of the playoff series. And since this is Pittsburgh's last game, I imagine their players will be playing. So why don't we just blast an assortment of player props for the Pittsburgh Penguins? Why don't we take the over 1.5 for Sidney Crosby for plus money? Why don't we take Bunting for a point? Why don't we take Rust? Should we do the classic Rust assists over 1.5 points for Sidney Crosby? Let's blast those. I told you I would never take any overs over 6.5. I said I would take over 5.5. But you can take any over 6.5 that you want. This can be a full slate of over 6.5 other than that Dallas game, because they actually need to win to clinch the 1 seed in the West. But that Tampa game, this Oilers game, the Pittsburgh game, you can go over 6.5 and sniff your own way. Sniff your own way. There's not a lot to talk about. That's all I got for you. Good luck to you. Better luck to me. We got one more scam night on our hands before the end of the season. And then on Friday, I'm going to do a playoff preview with Josh. I'm bringing him in. We're talking playoffs. Playoffs. And we will talk about some potential futures and good angles with certain teams and what you can do, because we'll get to it then. Anyway, do me a favor. You know what it is. Like, comment, engage with these videos. Yeah, go to the other account you have and watch for 10 seconds and click thumbs up and comment like, oh my God, it's my second account. Very much appreciated. I know it's redundant. I know it's annoying, but it's always appreciated. And as always, if you guys want all the parlays, the extra picks, the weekend picks, and you want to ask me questions, you want to get in the chat thread, that's over on my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Andy Francess. And I also know that thought. I'm the same guy who wouldn't comment on someone else's YouTube video, and I would not join some guy's Patreon. But I've been here for years now. I think you guys know my character. You know that I always try to give you the best sniffs. You know that I always do the best I can. And you guys know how often I update those threads on the weekends, and I do the best that I can for you. Sometimes that gets you a Dora FF point. Sometimes that gets you screwed on that Nick Wah empty net under. I will see you guys tomorrow. Take it easy. Have a good one.